New York City's Mayor, Eric Adams, said on Monday that America's national immigration policy is to blame for his city's migrant crisis. The national government must solve this, and the challenge is that we are facing. No city should be facing these challenges, Adams said. And I kept saying this over and over again. We're going to start seeing the visualization of the failure of the policy. We're seeing the visual of what a failed national policy is producing. We have to fix this with a national solution, Adams added. The mayor has said before that the federal government should bail New York City out of its illegal immigrant-induced financial crisis. New Yorkers did not create an international humanitarian crisis. But New Yorkers have been left to deal with this crisis almost entirely on our own, Adams said in a speech last year. It has been fueled by those in Congress who stand in the way of real immigration reform, by governors who have used vulnerable asylum seekers as political pawns, by the indifference of leaders across the nation. The state and federal government should shoulder the looming $12 billion bill to accommodate asylum seekers in New York, he added in the speech. We are past our breaking point, he said. New Yorkers' compassion may be limitless, but our resources are not. Although some Republicans applaud Adams's criticisms of the Biden administration's national immigration policy, former Vice President Mike Pence in September gave a hat tip to the mayor of New York, who's been willing to call out President Joe Biden and his administration for their absolute failure to secure the southern border. Others have condemned Adams's refusal to repeal the city's sanctuary policies. New York City is required to provide shelter to immigrants under its sanctuary city status. The policy also forbids federal authority from prosecuting immigration violations.
Good evening, I'm Christine Johnson.
I'm Maurice Dubois. Police say it is a sophisticated ring that started back in November.
They released this horrific video of a woman being dragged in one of 62 incidents. So far, police have arrested 7 people connected to the robberies, but there are still others on the loose, including the alleged ringleader. CBS 2's Allie Bauman live now in Chinatown, where the most recent incident took place. Allie.
Well, Christine, police say this operation continued up until last night right here in Chinatown, where sources tell us a group of 4 men robbed a delivery worker of his scooter. And police say over the past 3 months, this group has mostly targeted women walking alone and have made themselves hundreds of thousands of dollars in stolen profit.
Surveillance video shows a suspect on a scooter fleeing a 62-year-old woman to the ground in Brooklyn last month while stealing her purse. The NYPD says it's the modus operandi for this particular group of thieves who have been using mopeds for quick getaways after stealing phones and purses from at least 62 victims across the city.
During our investigation, we learned that these perpetrators are part of a sophisticated criminal enterprise made up of migrants who have recently arrived in the United States.
Joined by Mayor Eric Adams, police arrested 7 of the suspects early Monday in the Bronx on multiple counts of grand larceny. But investigators are still looking for the alleged ringleader, 30-year-old Victor Parra, who came to New York from Venezuela last year. Detectives believe the robberies typically began with a message blast from Parra on WhatsApp, looking for phones and reading, "I have money, I'm available, go get them."
Once the messages are received, the crime wave begins, with the scooter operators making $100 a day and the actual phone snatcher making between $300 to $600 per phone that is stolen.
Investigators say at Parra's Bronx apartment, a hacker would break into the phones and use the owner's banking apps to make fraudulent purchases in the U.S. and South America. When the accounts drained, police say Parra shipped the phones to Colombia to be reprogrammed.
In recent months, a wave of migrant crime has washed over our city. But by no means do the individuals committing these crimes represent the vast number of people coming to New York to build a better life.
Police have issued warrants for 3 other suspects and believe even more are out there. Scooters and mopeds have become vehicles of choice for criminals in New York. Back in July, we got an exclusive look at how the NYPD has been going on the offensive, targeting what they describe as roving groups of unlicensed scooters, similar to the ones used in this ring.
The law is coming for those who use mopeds illegally.
Well, the police commissioner says what makes this case particularly difficult to crack is a lot of these suspected migrants involved have little paper trail. Basically, no criminal records in the U.S., no social media, and in some cases, he says it's hard for police to even authenticate a suspect's name or date of birth. We're live in Chinatown. Ali Bauman, CBS 2 News.
Now, what they're not talking about is these southern Republican states and these Republican governors, they actually shipped the migrants to sanctuary cities and democratic states throughout the United States. Now, the problem is Eric Adams didn't have to accept these migrants. He could have shipped them back because he knew New York could not sustain this amount of migrants coming into the city, using up the resources. They knew they couldn't handle this for this long. You have United States citizens, taxpayers, who are being neglected and ignored while they're giving these millions to people who are not even citizens, who've never voted or contributed anything to the country. This is so disrespectful. Let me know, what do you guys think? You think that the United States neglected its own citizens by spending all this money on these migrants? You think it was disrespectful to the people who voted and put these politicians in their offices? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.